It's a good day, isn't it? Ooh, the birds are singing, the flowers are flowering, and Muscle Man's happy. Because Miro is in All Elite Wrestling. Miro is in AEW. Rusev is in AEW. Round of applause, man. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Last night, Kip Sabian needed to address who was going to be his best man at his wedding with Penelope Ford on AEW Dynamite. And they teased a couple people. They even brought out Brian Pillman Jr., which is pretty cool. But his best man had to be the best man, Miro. The Twitch All-Star, the WWE former United States champion 3 times, and the owner of the greatest day of all time, Miro Day. None of that Rusev stuff no more. And as the resident biggest Miro fan ever, I couldn't not talk about this. Like, come on now. Even my YWO World Heavyweight Championship is literally decorated in Rusev's face. I want to give a little rundown for people who might not know a lot about the Miro. Let's get this title situated first. You good? No, more in frame. Now, let's talk about the career of Miro, the career of Rusev, and the AEW All-Star that he is today. Before he got signed to the WWE, he had to go to training school. That's the only way you could be a pro wrestler, only way you could be an all-star like Miro is to go to wrestling school. So he went there to Knox Pro Wrestling Academy run by Gangrel and Rikishi. Once he was done training wrestling under the name of Miroslav, and I really can't pronounce that last name, so I'm gonna leave that one alone. He started wrestling for San Diego's New Wave Pro Wrestling. And soon after that, he would take his talents to Santa Maria, California, where he wrestled for Vendetta Pro Wrestling. But Rusev ain't about that indie stuff, okay? We ain't doing bingo halls, high school gyms, none of that BS, okay? One time I went to a wrestling show that was in a car repair shop. Like, in the giant garage was just a wrestling ring. It was weird. In 2010, Miro signed a WWE developmental contract for FCW, now wrestling under the name as Alexander Rusev. At one point, he had a first name. While he was in FCW, I mean, he squashed everybody like Mike Dalton or Tyler Breeze, while being managed by Raquel Diaz. He would get injured and come back, but at this time, FCW was no more. It was now NXT. In 2012, he came back as, well, Alexander Rusev, ready to squash some fools and get some of that money, where he had a couple different managers, including Sylvester LaFront, and he was in a really weird tag team with AEW Tag Team Champion currently Scott Dawson, or Cash Wheeler, Dax, or whichever one he is. They both sound like porn star names, where they were collectively known as the Fighting Legionaries, or Legionnaires. Legionaries. Pretty sure. But that doesn't matter, because Rusev gotta get some of that money. He gotta get some of that Bulgarian dollar, you feel? He gotta get some of those Bulgarian bucks. So he need a new manager. He gotta get rid of Scott. He gotta get rid of Sylvester. You gotta go. He brought in Lana. Much like the Dragos from Rocky IV, she was his social ambassador. Really mean manager and translator, but like social ambassador just sounds cool. It sounds like something like you sign up for on Instagram, like, oh, they reached out to me. I get to be an ambassador now. Like, even though you're really not that important, you just got a little coupon code for it that you really have to use and buy stuff just so you can get the coupon code, and then other people can use it and only save like 10%. And then once you get like 20 people to buy something using your stupid coupon code, then you get like a free shirt. What kind of bill is a free t-shirt gonna pay? I'm trying to get some of that coin, which Rusev was getting as he debuted on the main roster. He made his debut, guys, at the Royal Rumble 2014, the same Royal Rumble which was CM Punk's last ever, where he pretty much helped Kofi Kingston have that really cool moment of running from the barricade back into the ring. It was the coolest jump in the world, but that is because of Rusev. When he's on the main roster, he was squashing fools. I mean, he squashed Kofi, he squashed Big E, squashed Xavier, he squashed R-Truth. Was that on purpose? Maybe not, maybe not. He would also get into some feuds with Jack Swagger and Big Show and Mark Henry, whereas Jack Swagger feud gave him a SummerSlam match that was basically US guy versus foreigner, and it was just a typical US versus foreigner stuff. Flag match, it was cool, yeah. About it. But he also had a really cool run-in with The Rock, and The Rock just absolutely roasted Lana, and Rusev kind of just took it, and then The Rock beat up Rusev. Like, it sounds worse than what it was, because it was actually really entertaining, but I guess the way I just said it made it sound like Rusev was like the B-side and Rock was A-side. Maybe because that's the truth, because no one beats The Rock, but Rusev versus The Rock, honestly, at one point was a tease match according to rumors online, and I just wish. Even if Rusev lost, I just wish. But whatever. After this, Rusev would win the United States Championship after defeating Sheamus after a Raw show, and he was still squashing fools left and right until he ran into like a big brick wall that was decked out in blue, and his name's John Cena. Cena John at WrestleMania 31, where he came out in a freaking tank, right? He came out in a tank. That's coolest entrance of all time. He came out in a tank, bro. The match was really good. Yeah, he lost to Cena, and then he got his rematch, and he lost that too. He didn't get the belt back. But it's okay. Eventually, he would win back the US Championship from Kalisto, yes, of course. It's also after the League of Nations stuff. I mean, the League of Nations honestly had a very cool idea, a very cool concept of having these foreign stars that were all very good future world champions, if not a world champion already. It just didn't culminate to what you expected. Like, they were more of like Vince's henchmen than it were like established group of future champions, current champions, and yada yada yada. But he did win the US Championship from Kalisto, and then he kind of had it for a couple months, and then he ran into another brick wall of a company guy with really cool slick back hair. His teeth weren't as white at the time, but like, they're still kind of white. Like, I mean, they look good. Where they did have a really cool Hell in a Cell match, and to have a Hell in a Cell match for a mid-card championship being the US title, that's pretty sick. And there was like this weird spot where like Rusev was just pulling Roman back with all these like chains in his mouth, and seemed a little kinky, but it was still a really cool moment. He didn't really do anything of note after this besides randomly getting teamed up with Jinder Mahal. That's a really strange mix of a tag team. No world champions came out of that. So that's an L for Rusev, I guess. But then the good stuff started to roll, because Rusev took some time off from WWE. Either he was injured or just wanted some time off. He came back to SmackDown, and he got into a feud with John Cena again. Lost. Yeah. But then he got into a feud with Randy Orton again. Lost. 10 seconds at SummerSlam. But he got his win back though, which counted. And that set his career on track. Because he decided, because he got that one win over Randy Orton, that every day after that day would then forever be Rusev Day. The greatest holiday that ever existed. It happens every single day, so we're always celebrating. With Aiden English alongside to being a beautiful singer. I mean, oh, great voice. They challenged for the tag team titles, didn't work out for him, but it's okay, because it was still Rusev Day, didn't matter. But because of his popularity, because this absolutely made him the biggest star in the company, in my opinion and yours, it is the right opinion. He was the #1 person in the company. You know it, I know it, the world knows it. He was #1. That it actually even got him a WrestleMania 34 Fatal 4-Way entrant into the United States Championship match. It was him, Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal, and Bobby Roode. Good thing Rusev didn't get pinned or anything, especially by like his former tag partner. That would have sucked. But it's okay, he bounced back from this. Yes, he had a casket match that he lost in Saudi Arabia to The Undertaker. The point is, have a casket match against The Undertaker, good, bad, or indifferent, is still a career-marking moment. So much that he even got him a WWE Championship match, a one-on-one title shot against AJ Styles, which he should have won, but you know, life doesn't work out for everybody in that way. It's okay, because he even got back that US Championship. Because Shinsuke Nakamura was champion at the time, it was Knock America and stuff, and no one really cared, but it was still Rusev Day, every single day. So he got the championship back. It was a very short-lived reign. It lasted a couple weeks at most. He won it on Christmas. He lost it at Royal Rumble kickoff. So obviously they became a tag team together and became best buds. But that team lasted enough to at least get Rusev into WrestleMania again in a tag team title shot for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, as him and Nakamura took on the champions of the Usos, who also defended titles against The Bar and Ricochet and Aleister Black. I'd love to say something else happened after this, but I really can't think of a major storyline that Rusev was a part of. And then there was like the whole like Lashley thing. I tried to avoid the whole Ziggler situation with him and the Fish and Summer Rae, and I tried to just act like that didn't happen. Rusev was gone for a while. Lana came back. Rusev is back. Lana's kissing Lashley. Even though everyone in the arena knows that in a real life scenario, Rusev and Lana are married together, and also Lashley's married with children too. It's just like, semi-uncomfortable. And the storyline just got a little dumber every single week. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, why is this a thing? But it was so bad that it was kind of cool. Like, you wanted to keep watching because you want to see how far off the railroad will this train go. And at this point, it went off the rails, through the town, killed a grandma, somehow back on the tracks, and then now Lana and Liv are together, but they're not actually together, but at one point they were. So then it's back off the rail again, and then back into the city, and then it just stopped because Rusev just was off television, and then that's the last we ever really saw of him.
Fun train ride.
Exactly, right? Like choo-choo. But when COVID-19 hit, Rusev alongside a bunch of other W superstars were released. Since then, Rusev hasn't been wrestling. He's been on Twitch live streaming. At one point, he even caught COVID-19, but I guess he's okay now because he's wrestling again. And now he's the best man in All Elite Wrestling. He is elite, so he belongs with the elite as Miro. And I'm so excited as the biggest Miro fan of all time to see what he does. There's so many things, so many people he hasn't faced that I would love to see. There's a TNT championship he can win. There's a world title he can win. And then there's just a comedy gold with him and Orange Cassidy that needs to be looked into. The stuff they can produce, I want it. I need it. So allow it, Tony.
Allow it.
Right?
Allow it.
He should.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's okay. Just say Miro's the best. Miro is the best.
The best.
Yes, everyone gets it. So you should make it happen, Tony. Make it happen, Tony. Make it happen, Tony. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I really want to talk about. I can't just not talk about the fact that Miro is in All Elite Wrestling. It's impossible. The belt has his face all over it. I just want to make this video talk about Miro in AEW. I'm very excited. There's lots of things that he can do, a lot of people he can face. Tell me in the comments down below if you want to be shouted out. Also, thank you to these people who commented on the last video.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm.
In the comments down below, tell me who do you want to see Miro face in All Elite Wrestling. We'll do more of these news videos, I guess. Probably more on a weekend basis because like there's other stuff to talk about. But I needed to talk about just this and this only. I'm happy. Subscribe.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe.